don't believe you necessarily have to attempt to understand the scientific community and the philanthropy community that calls themselves religious. I don't think you have to understand them, what they're trying to achieve or justify with what they're doing with technology and artificial intelligence that they refer to as artificial intelligence, which is an oxymoron in itself. You can't, intelligence cannot be artificial. Okay. Intelligence is the humble understanding of reality and what it takes to maintain reality to understand. So you can't artificially do that. Or you can't have an artificial perception of intelligence. Intelligence is the humble understanding of reality. And you get a lot of people, I don't even know if I'm alive. I could be part of a computer program. This is the Holocaust delusion. No, just because people invent perceptions and then talk about them a lot, and a lot of people accept that perception, doesn't mean that the dollar bill has any intrinsic value. Okay. Doesn't mean that that card in your wallet with numbers on it has any intrinsic value. Okay. It's not an apple. It's not water. It's not fresh air, right? Okay. So it's not gravity. And so just because we have a lot of insane people doing insane things, okay, doesn't mean that we have to accept insanity as reality because a bunch of people agree to philanthropy being real. Do you understand? And so when technology has to come to terms with intelligence through a perception of people that are unintelligent, that they had to invent this technology to solve all their problems, to answer all their questions, it was like, why are you asking questions? Why do you have these problems? Because you have to ask questions. If you don't have to ask a lot of questions, you don't have a lot of problems, right? You appreciate clean water, you appreciate fresh air, you appreciate gravity, right? And so you understand you're humble and you're intelligent. And so having these human beings that, that for some reason, have little charts and IQ tests and to declare themselves intelligent, and that guy's IQ's off the charts, just because he's excessive and compulsive and breaks everything down to the most minute detail, and will invent technology to try to break it down, to study it, to destroy it and build it back up again through invention, doesn't mean that they're an intelligent person. The people that invented the nuclear weapon are not intelligent people. Okay? Intelligent people would have lived faithfully and not gotten to the point where they invented the nuclear weapon. Do you understand? Like me. Jizlith and other people like that. So just because people say, I'm intelligent, doesn't mean that their crazy ass is intelligent, right? That's not so. You can label something and you can call it that, but that doesn't make it so. Okay, do you understand? All right. So, we're dealing with really radically disabled and insane people. And most of them are so insane, they lack the capacity to self-correct and stop their insanity. And it should be blatantly obvious, but it's not blatantly obvious because of the collective insanity. Do you understand? Insane people cannot self-correct. Okay? It's blatantly obvious that they can't self-correct. Truth is evident. Gravity, water, oxygen, photosynthesis. Okay? Evident. Oh, there it is. Can you prove it? How do I know it's not an illusion? Buy my book, right? And so I win an award. I'm the most brilliant manipulator of people with technology and using money to manipulate them with technology in the history of the world. Oh God, it's the year 3510. You know what I'm saying? Zager and Evans, huh? It sounds charming, but it's not. Well, because if God's a-coming, he ought to be here by then. God's omniscient, omnipotent. Why would you think God's a-coming and he ought to be here by now if God's omniscient, omnipotent? See, that reading comprehension skills, artificial intelligence. Do you see what I'm saying? Earl goes back to obnoxious. I can't help myself. I'm an American man. Born and raised in Las Casas Cruces, New Mexico, on the television set. Underdog, Wendy Marvin and Wonder Dog, and I was Rowan Martin's laughing. If you didn't want, if you wanted a condescending British accent, pretentious, you guys would have had me be born in Bradley upper crust England, not ran me mum's relatives off to the United States, stuff. And so, I'd be in the Royal Palace right now talking to my cousins, Willem and Harry, and saying, I've finally got you guys to get along and stop fighting over this perception of stupidity of philanthropy. Wow, this is so amazing and astounding, but it's no bullshit. Oh, Downton Abbey us all. You're funny. You know what I'm saying? So, fuck it. And so, what happens? I got a big rush of emotions, and when emotions hit me, I turned more into an American. I was raised with people in trailer parks. The Ponces lived in a trailer park, yeah. Mr. Ponce, yeah, they lived in a trailer park. They had 2 different trailers. I lived in an adobe house down the road. Mr. Ponce thought Mom and they got it from Mrs. Chisholm. Yeah. That my parents made a really good deal, and they did. It was a big adobe house. It was not that big, but it was big rooms. And you could add on to it and change and do all the stuff like Homer did. There were extenuating circumstances in my parents' relationship because of virtual presence and manipulation from perverts in corporations, and it's had real difficult psychological effects on my son Patrick and his step siblings through Amy and his mom and stuff. And so I get very upset with my family because I'm like, for being such a good person, I shouldn't have to come and justify my existence to a bunch of people that have done really horrifically terrible things to me. Patrick's mom attempted to kill me twice and threatened to and told me she thought about it numerous times when I was in the military sleeping. I thought one time I was going to have to knock her the fuck out to get out of the house and get away from her. And the same with Amy, it's a couple of times when they did, there was a vision in my head she hadn't been pregnant with Crumb. I still probably wouldn't have happened, but when she was yelling and accusing me of Natalie of having a sexual affair and threw all my clothes out on the thing and trying to get the neighbors to hear so they'd come and pick up the kids so she could go fuck the guys at Fort Huachuca. Yeah, I was pretty upset. But I know she was being abused by the sexual predators at Fort Huachuca. So I had to sit there and go, okay, she's a decent person. She wouldn't be this horrible if it wasn't for all these perverts, right? And, it's cumulative. But I understand because it affected me and it was hard for me to get through. It's still hard for me to get through and talk my Susie into what she's been abused through and really make her realize you're not that abused. And I understand where you're coming from and I understand your thought processes. And I just don't think about it. And she kept going she's not feeling well, so she uses other situations and scenarios in my life. And last night, I had dreams about Miriam. And they were extensive and they were painful, Well, I like I said, I'm always gonna love Miriam. I'm always gonna love Edna, and I'm always gonna love, when you fall in love with a woman, you don't stop loving that woman, even if they screwed half the town on you and you raised a bunch of jerks' kids not to be jerks. No, anybody who tells himself lies to fuck another man's wife is a jerk, okay? And that's hard to come to terms with because I really love my kids, and Kelly was a jerk, okay? He came home high and drunk and beat Amy when she was 8 months pregnant with Natalie. Okay? His daughter's beautiful and charming and funny, but she almost didn't make it into this world because of his actions, because he's an asshole. Okay? I don't deserve to be treated like I'm Kelly Jack Green. I don't deserve to be treated like I'm the leg lifters at the bar that had sex with Amy. I don't deserve to be treated like somebody who lied to the state, took money from Stephanie and Patrick, put them in the apartments down by the airport with all the drug addicts and the prostitutes and the gangbangers, and I don't deserve to be treated the way I'm treated. And anybody that with half a lick of common decency, sense, and half a lick of intelligence goes, wow, this is a very exceptional human being. I wasn't there for the stories in the Bible. I can just read them and think, wow, Job's amazing. Wow, Daniel and Joseph are amazing, right? Wow, Muhammad's amazing, right? But when you end up being somebody like them in real life and you have overwhelming evidence, and most of the people with a classified security clearance in the U.S. military should know beyond any reasonable doubts. But they all sit there and invent a cartoon character in their head that's a god that's better than me. I'm like, wow, you guys are all Ezra Taft fucking Benson, Any of you people call yourself Rastafarians if you're multi-millionaires and consider Kailash Selassie your god? He's not. You're a fucking asshole, Ezra Taft Benson Jr. Some of them have vaginas, right? You know what I'm saying? Well, because when you start going through and understanding intelligence, explaining intelligence, and speaking intelligently, there's always these egomaniacs who thinks, okay, well, but he's wrong here. And you're so fucking right, aren't you? Love's so right, turn out to be so wrong. Now make the top 40 and sell, go platinum. Okay, fuck you. Go take your drugs. That's how you get. As far as help from anybody that's in a position to help me radically, okay, I get this much, nothing, okay? I don't know if it's they're afraid of their own shadow or they're afraid of the military or they're just as selfish and fucked and perverse as the military. I can't tell you. Every part of my being, sits there and hopes that, okay, Dim Sabas would help me, but he's under duress. Jeff Hinton and Brian Cox and Neil deGrasse Tyson help me, but they're under duress. Jennifer Lopez, if she doesn't know who I am, knows I'm such a beautiful man that it's almost unbelievable that we really do exist. We do. Stop watching Access Hollywood and Entertainment Tonight. It's annoying. Okay. But it's the same as watching SportsCenter. Yeah, it is. And so, it's the same thing. Okay. Hi, I'm an egomaniac that's excessive and compulsive. Hi, you want to break something down to a quark and then win an award by almost destroying the planet with your science projects? Yeah, okay. You Trinity Ciders, Manhattan Project motherfuckers. Okay. Honey, you are my shining star, don't you go away. And so, it's really difficult to have to try to have a coherent conversation and have people think that, oh, yeah, I'm right there with them. No, you're not. You're not right here with me, okay? Who the fuck is right here sitting in this room right next to me going, this guy's the Messiah, he's the real deal, we should all live the Lord's Prayer, don't be afraid of all the perverts, and the place where he was born, and in Fort Huachuca, they're nothing but a bunch of child molesters with home invasion equipment manipulating us with perceptions of value through money. That's fucked. I know, crypto. Superman's dog's an idiot, and so is your Bitcoin. Okay. Mine it. Stop it. I like Marty Robbins too. Now just shut up and stop having to make the man give his whole life away to sell music to pay his existence to live here. Huh? Stupid asses. Okay, do you understand? These videos start out great. He's all, they end better than they start. They always start with the truth, and at the end, they always tell you exactly what Mm-hmm. Oh, my Lord, 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 Lord. Mm-hmm. Lord's Prayer is perfect. Apply it in physics. If you can't, I will correct your technology. And when that happens, where you going to be, Nina Simone Jr.'s All on That Day, right? That song's, guys, you get all about your past and all that. It's magical thinking. I know it's, it's probably because of tribalism or racism. And instead of sitting there saying, I'm wrong, I'm not living the Lord's Prayer either, so why am I calling white people the devil? Yeah, Elijah Muhammad. Come on, Louis Farrakhan. See, when Malcolm, he corrected himself. He said, I went on the Hajj with these people from Germany that treated me better and didn't threaten to kill me like these people here in the Nation of Islam that are black. Okay, because I'm cutting into their business. And these guys said, the guys from Germany that were white said, we all just need to live Islam so we can all live in peace. Right. Peace out.